Christian voter in the Valley who cares about social issues? Are you excited and a little nervous about the Trump presidency and what it might mean for issues like abortion? Well, if you said yes, then by golly, have I got a show for you. Tune in to Right to Life Radio with me, John Girardi, Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. right after Jim Franklin Live. We'll give you the latest news on what's happening in the pro-life movement nationwide, throughout the state of California, and even here locally. Again, that's Right to Life Radio on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1680. The Answer.
Want the inside scoop on an area? Locals always know. Want an inside advantage in your job search? Then you rely on a staffing local. We're Spherion, a 65-year workforce leader with a distinct local focus. Just last year, we helped 160,000 individuals find exciting careers. I'm Glenna Gates, and my team knows the Central Valley area well. More than a business, this is our home, and we have connections to the area's most respected companies. Gain a local career advantage and call Spherion at 559-251-4040 or visit us on the web at spherion.com.
From AM 1680, The Answer, this is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. And now, here's your host, Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 5th, 2017. Business Leaders Live every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. in studio. A good friend of mine. He started an organization called PAIN, Parents and Addicts in Need. PAIN is an organization that is exactly what the addict and also the family members around the addict go through, absolute pain. In studio, the leader of that organization, Flynn Anderson, a good friend. Welcome to the program, Flynn. How are you doing?
Thanks, Lance. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And you experienced pain yourself, and your family experienced pain because you were an addict and you went through probably if you could get a gold medal for being an addict, you achieved every gold medal in the business. And your story is, when I first heard it, it was Jeff Eben was running for mayor at the time,
right,
good friend of yours, and he came to me and said, "Hey, you're booking my speaking career, and you got to meet my buddy over here. He's got an incredible story, and he wants to write a book, and he wants to be a speaker." And you told me the story, and I thought, wow, this story is very dark, and people need to know about it. And so tell the listeners, Flynn Anderson, the organization PAIN, helps people with the addicts and also parents involved with that. It was devastating through your process.
Yeah, Lance. You know, it's one of those things where I'm not afraid to talk about my story because I lived it, right? I was a drug addict for about 20 years or so. I was addicted to painkillers. That was my main drug of choice. A lot of things led up to that. I had a lot of medical issues as a kid and even into my teens and into young adulthood. And so I got wrapped up in the entire prescription drug industry, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was like their representative.
And it was prescribed by a doctor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything was prescribed by a doctor. But, of course, that always leads to, they're not quite giving you enough. And so you have to take other avenues in order to get the drugs that you need. And trust me, my friend, I took every avenue out there, to make sure I got the amount of drugs I needed for the day.
And when you say needed for the day, and a lot of people don't realize with an opiate that the addict is it's a need to keep the body going, and it continues to manifest itself and tends to you're looking for something bigger and better and more. Is
right.
that true?
Yeah, that is true. In fact, it actually becomes a job. Right, because people don't understand the pharmacological side to these drugs and the fact that you're now taking them just to feel normal, yeah. and so they build up a tolerance in your body, and so you need to have more and more, and so again, you will take any avenue, you'll go down any road in order to obtain those drugs, whether that's going in and faking injuries, again lying to your family about everything.
Stealing, whatever it takes.
Oh yeah, whatever it takes.
And when you talk about, I know with alcoholics, there's a DTs, and
mm-hmm.
with pharmaceuticals and opiates, there's also, you can't just quit cold turkey. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, you could just quit. And I'm one of those. And I was like,
right.
why do they just quit?
Right.
And the body goes through a reaction that's very dangerous for the person. Is that correct? How's that work?
Absolutely. These things build up such a tolerance that that's the number one reason why drug users don't get clean, is because they're deathly afraid of the withdrawal symptoms. And the withdrawal symptoms with opiates are some of the most brutal, gut-wrenching withdrawal symptoms that one will ever go through, especially after long-term use. But you can actually start to detox off of those drugs after about 2 weeks. You're not a drug addict, of course, but you're dependent on the drug, and so those come rapidly. You just have to keep it in your system, and we'll do anything to keep it in our system.
So let's go back. So you're running a successful business here in Fresno, right. And how many years back? How many years you been clean now?
About 17. I got 17. I got clean and sober in 2001. So
2001. So take me back to, if you would call it the heyday. So you're in the middle of the business. You're running through everything, and the family is in pain during the process. They're trying to mask it. You're trying to mask the pain to continue to feed the beast. What year was that when a friend of yours came to your door and said, "Hey, we're going on a trip"?
Actually, that was in 2001. I had a heart attack and open heart surgery in 2000. And so in about 1998 is when I actually really started to go downhill, crash and burn. And but I had a heart attack in 2000, and again, I probably weighed 150 pounds, and I was just a walking train wreck. And my friend came and said, "Hey, we're going to get you some help," and that's what he did. And he flew me to treatment and wrote the check and turned around and looked at me and said, "If you ever wind up in the hospital due to your drug use, I will never ever speak to you again." And I kind of stood there with my mouth open and said, "Okay." And that started the path to recovery. And you believed him, and he was serious. Oh, yeah. And I believed my family in it because everybody else was on the same page with that as well. Yeah. So that process wasn't easy. I mean, that was the start. Right. Yeah. And I think knowing you, I remember there's one thing that was sort of it rings in my head all the time when it was a group session, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, no, and you were in these process of going through these sessions, and there was little things that were turning points for you, and made the process eye opening. Yeah, I mean, again, when you're sitting there with your family, and they're telling you things that you did, and you can only come to that realization that you need recovery when you are clean, when the drugs are out of your system. When somebody's telling you those things when you're still high, you really don't believe them. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, you're sitting there and you hear your family and what you put them through, it's extremely eye-opening. Eye-opening. Is there any stories, something that still today rings a bell with you that during that process with your family? I think your son was playing sports, and that was something that was eye-opening to you, like, I do have a problem. I do need to fix this. Yeah. I mean, I knew that I had a problem during those days, but again, we are so afraid to ask for help. Yeah. Most drug users are afraid. It's not that we don't want it. It's the fact that we don't know how to ask for that help. But then again, you start seeing some of the things that you've done, and all of a sudden your family's like, "Hey, Dad, something's got to be done here," or your wife says something. Again, it's extremely eye-opening, and you either get it done or you don't. Absolutely. So, parents and addicts, the organization, Parents and Addicts in Need. If there's anybody listening to this program right now and hearing Flint Anderson's story, the process of him going through this and now being able to help families and addicts, we'll talk about that in the next segment. But if you have someone or you need to talk to Flint, don't be afraid to pick up that phone and call now at 559-442-1680. That's 442-1680, and Flint is here to help and here to navigate. And you could be the friend of someone that you just need some answers. You need to find out. So call AM 1680, The Answer, on this show, Business Leaders Live, and let's talk to Flint and talk about the organization Pain. And as we wrap up this segment, just give me, so you go through that process, you get out,
you come back and start life over, and you feel there's a new purpose in life. You need to help people. That doesn't happen right away, though. It's just through that process.
No, it doesn't. It took me about 4 years of just trying to get back into normal life again. Getting my business back up and running, and just trying to feel normal, because there's actually, when you get out of treatment, there's a big downslide. Because you don't know how to act normal, because you haven't been acting normal for so long.
It becomes your normal.
You don't
know.
Right,
Yeah.
it becomes your normal. And so then, of course, I waited a few more years, and I always knew I wanted to help people in this. And we finally put the right people, including yourself, into place in order to get this organization started.
And the organization is helping addicts and families around those addicts. And the organization's paid. And the website where they can find you is
www.gotpainusa.com.
GotPainUSA.com. And Jamie Brown, she's with the organization. She's sitting there in the studio, big thumbs up and a big smile for you, Flint. You got it right. You get a gold star, Flint. You made it. So if you have somebody that is going through this process, and it could be alcohol, could be anything that is affecting them, feel free to call in the studio and talk with Flint at 442-1680. You can go to the organization. How can they call you if someone needs help?
They can actually call our office, and that's 559-579-1551, or my cell phone, which I give out to everybody, and that's 559-978-9239. I actually answer my phone when people call. We're not one of those organizations that waits 2 days and leave a message and we'll get back to you, because we know the urgency of it.
And I've heard the stories of the families that talk about that, and that's true, and that's exactly how Flint operates and runs the organization. You know what it's like when you need that help.
You bet.
We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about the organization and what PAIN does, and that's Parents and Addicts in Need, right here on AM 1680 The Answer. We'll be right back with Business Leaders Live.
It's professional boxing at the Valdez Hall, next to the Cellend Arena, Saturday, September 23rd. The main event featuring Fresno's own Mike Ruiz Jr., ranked 13th by the North American Boxing Federation and North American Boxing Association, versus Jonathan Torres from Guadalajara, Jalisco. Also, 6 more exciting boxing matches featuring top-ranked Valley stars Joe Lopez and Isidro Ochoa, plus Fresno's best Hector Madera, Julian Lopez, and Madera's own Jesus Sanchez. Special guest of honor, our own Valley Olympian Jose Ramirez. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime at 7 p.m. Tickets now on sale for the best seats available. Buy your tickets now at Cellend Arena's box office and Ticketmaster. Come out and support our Valley Boxers. For more information, call 559-233-8803. That's 233-8803. It's all or nothing. It's todo or nada. Saturday, September 23rd at the Valdez Hall next to Cellend Arena. Sponsored by Serrano's Furniture with 9 locations to serve you.
What can happen when your calling becomes your career? Just about anything. Because Fresno Pacific University is creating every possibility that God makes possible. The career you never dreamed you'd be capable of. The life you always imagined for yourself. The future you didn't expect might be yours. Learn your limits and discover that you have none. This is what's possible. Fresno Pacific University.
This is Christy Burkhart, Executive Director of Pregnancy Care Center. Today I want to share with you 7 ways to cultivate a life-affirming culture. Number 1, pray. Pray for our youth today. Pray for those in unexpected pregnancies. Pray for employees of abortion clinics to find other jobs. Pray for those serving on the front lines of this life issue. Number 2, become a life advocate. Recognize that all people are valuable, regardless of age, circumstances, or worldview. Every person was created in God's image and with the potential to reach His plan and purposes for themselves. Number 3, instill the value of life in today's youth. Let them know that they are loved and cared for, and teach them that the ability to create life is a tremendous responsibility. Number 4, educate yourself. Do the research. Seek out trusted and reliable sources to answer your questions about life. Learn about life from conception and abortion procedures. Once equipped with true knowledge, you can share with compassionate boldness what you now know. Number 5, get involved. There are many organizations that provide life-affirming support. At Pregnancy Care Center, we are always seeking volunteers to serve with us. Find us online at ministry.pregnancycarecenter.com for upcoming volunteer orientations. Number 6, consider supporting life-affirming organizations financially. Every gift makes a difference. Number 7, live a life of life. Just as a spark can grow into a roaring fire, we too can spread the truth of life, beginning with ourselves. Advocate for the sanctity of human life in your sphere of influence. Thank you for partnering with Pregnancy Care Center to build a culture of life in our community. For more information on how to donate or get actively involved, find us at ministry.pregnancycarecenter.com. That's ministry.pregnancycarecenter.com.
When it comes to topical pain relievers, stores are full of Me Too products. There are the ones that warm, the ones that cool, and the ones that claim to numb you. But there's only one Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream. Australian Dream is real medicine that effectively relieves arthritis pain, and it's backed by the empty jar guarantee. Use the entire jar. Not happy? Send it back for a full refund. Get back to feeling normal again with Australian Dream. Find it at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walmart.
Use only as directed.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Business Leaders in Studio. I have Flint Anderson with PAIN, Parents and Addicts in Need. And we were talking about Flint's journey, and it was with prescription drugs. He had a business here in Fresno. Felt like everything was caving in around him. His whole family was experiencing pain, and a good friend of his helped him get the treatment, and there was a long road from there after that. We were talking about a break because I know a little bit about your story, and before the first segment we touched on it a little bit, but it was an experience that you had when you went through treatment, and I think they were talking about what everybody's experienced and what they have in their system. And Flint was done. Flint, you said, I don't have a problem. All these people have a problem, which most addicts experience.
Right. That's normal.
And you actually stormed out of the room. But tell the story. What happened in that session?
Well, this is one of my treatment centers that I was in. And I was ready, like you said, I was ready to leave. And, I was done with it. And I've got this thing beat, and it's not an issue. And so we were sitting in this room with all the other inpatient people, and the head of the place walks in, and she goes to this huge blackboard, and she's behind it. It's one of those that flip, and so she's just writing on the back of the board. And finally, after about 5 minutes, she comes out of there, and she looks at everybody and says, "Well, Flint decided that he's going to leave today because he doesn't have a problem." And she flips over that chalkboard, and she had listed all the drugs that I had used.
And there was no room on the chalkboard left.
Literally no room on the chalkboard left. And of course I got furious and stormed out and, did my thing. But again, it goes to show you that there's a lot of times when we are still not going to admit that we have this problem.
Yeah.
And because as the practicing drug user, you don't want to recognize it, and then if you talk about your families, the families don't want to recognize it. They don't want to have to admit to somebody that their loved one has a problem.
They tend to put blinders on.
Oh, they have huge blinders on.
Yeah,
huge blinders. Even with when it's staring them right in the face. Again at break, I was telling you. I had a family walk in. This is a number of years ago, and because they thought their son was smoking too much marijuana. Mm-hmm. And, they walk in. It's a Fresno summer, so, it's like today, it's 120 outside. And this kid has a hoodie on and long sleeves, and he, he weighs, 120 pounds. And I look at the family, I look at the kid first, and I said, "When's the last time you shot up?" And he looks at me and he says, "Yesterday." And then I look at the parents and said, "How do you not see this? It's sitting right in front of your face."
And they were thinking he was just smoking too much pot.
He was just smoking too much pot. Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. And again, parents don't want to recognize this, and I understand that, right? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you better start to recognize it.
Yeah. And you need to do something about it.
You need to do something.
And if you're listening to this show, you're listening right now to Business Leaders, and you know somebody, and maybe it's not you or it's your family, but you know that addict. Tell them to tune in right now to AM 1680 and just listen to Flynn Anderson and what Payne and the organization is doing. Call in at AM or at 559-442-1680 and get that courage to just want to talk about it. And I think a lot of times they need to be able to, as an addict, you need to be able to listen to other people's stories, and you need to be able to realize that there is hope. There is somebody out there in an organization like Payne and what Payne can do for you. So let's talk a little bit about, now we've gone through the process. You've come back home. You're getting your business back in shape, trying to figure out what is normal, as you were talking about before the break. And what was that? So what was the turning point that said, I want to do something about it?
You know, I don't know. Everybody kind of has those wake-up moments, right? And there was a good friend of mine, and, you know, and I love public speaking, and I thought, you know what, I would like to go out and start telling my story here. And so we started that little bit by little bit, and as that happened, then I had people coming to me saying, well, you know, geez, you really understand this. You really get this because you lived it. Is there any way you can help me and my family with this? And I said, sure, you know, and kind of just by chance, we turned into this referral group. And so as we started referring people, and Blanche, you know me, I'm very picky on where I refer somebody to treatment. You know,
you actually go and visit these centers and these places yourself.
You bet. And so it's because, look, I know what works and I definitely know what doesn't work. And a lot of these treatment facilities are money-making situations, right, where they really don't care about the client.
You tend to be a number, and they're running you through.
Right. And plus, I also believe in long-term treatment, especially for kids. You know, now everybody under 40 is a kid. But you know, it's I do believe in that. And so, you know, yeah, we refer. So the point is we started referring to people. Then all of a sudden we started getting people, and I thought, you know what, let's start a little support group for parents here, because the parents and the families need to know about this as much as getting the addict clean. And those meetings are designed to get the parent through this in a certain manner. Those meetings are not designed to get their kid clean, because the parents can become addicted to their kid's addiction. And I want everybody to understand that. The parents now become addicted to the kid's addiction. They're living it as well as the kid is. The only thing they're not doing is putting the needle in their arm or snorting the oxy or whatever they're doing. And so,
is that where they tend to get the blinders on?
Yeah. And like I said earlier, those blinders are on pretty much all the time until something disastrous happens. My point here is, why do we have to wait until something disastrous happens?
Yeah,
we've seen too many deaths in this area. We lost 3 that I know of within the last 45 days. You know, this is a problem here in Fresno that's not going away, and not going away anytime soon. I mean, we could spend the next 17 hours sitting here talking about the problem and where it's leading and how we fix it and all those kinds of things. But we have to start with one family at a time.
Yeah, and they have to start. I think they have to take the leap. They have to say, enough's enough.
Right.
And the parent might be experiencing the items are disappearing out of the house. Right. They sleep all day long. We'll talk about the signs when we come back on the next segment. We'll talk about signs of abuse and what a parent needs to look at. And a lot of times, too, our educators are around students and what they need to be looking at. Right. And so it's a big issue. We're not just talking about prescription drugs. We're talking about addicts in general. Once it takes over your life and it becomes the new norm, right. And as you're saying, too, the family unit around them also becomes addicts around it, right. Because it becomes their new norm. And everybody's in a state of survival, it seems like. And we've got only a minute left, but you've even ridden with families and gone down to these treatment centers to get somebody in and get it started.
Right. Oh yeah. I've taken people to a treatment facility down in Southern California at 1:00 in the morning. 10 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter to me. I want to get them somewhere because I love what I do. I mean, I just absolutely love what I do, and I am one of the fortunate ones. Am I cured? No, absolutely not. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I'll tell you what, it's got to start somewhere.
It does. It has to start somewhere. When we come back, we'll have contact information on how you can find help and you can get a hold of pain. We're here with Flynn Anderson in studio of Business Leaders Live. We're talking about pain, parents, and addicts in need. More to come right here on Business Leaders Live.
Tune in this Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. to Frontline Radio with Ben Berquam, your unashamed, unafraid political evangelist, exposing the left and mobilizing the right to stand in the Central Valley, across the state of California, and around the country. Christ, family, country. It's live. It's local. It's Frontline Radio with Ben Berquam on AM 1680. The Answer, brought to you in part by FrontlineAmerica.com, your source for updates on the battle to restore California's and America's identity.
When it comes to guiding you to and through a successful retirement, at Financial Engines, what we don't do is almost important as what we do. We don't work on a commission. We don't judge. We don't tell you what we think you want to hear. And at Financial Engines, we don't use confusing financial speak or take a one-size-fits-all approach to financial planning. So what do? We start with your goals, your dreams, and your fears. We create your personalized path to the retirement you deserve. At Financial Engines, our advisors are equipped with more resources to help you achieve your goals. And right now, for a limited time, get a free portfolio review with an experienced local advisor when you visit financialengines.com or call today. Get your free portfolio review today and see what we can do for you.
This is John Sayers with Financial Engines in Fresno and Visalia. Let's talk about the financial goals that are important to you, and together we'll develop a plan to help make them happen. Call me at 559-434-9800 or visit financialengines.com.
Hey everyone! Fresno County and City Republican women are hosting their 3rd annual restaurant takeover and silent auction at the Elbow Room in the sparkling Fig Garden Village on Monday, September 25th. The theme is Diamonds in Denim. Join us at 5:30 p.m. for a no-host bar with dinner program beginning at 7 p.m. with Master of Ceremonies Pastor Jim Franklin, along with State Senator Andy Vidak and State Assemblyman Jim Patterson. The menu is Chuck Wagon Cuisine, and tickets are $50 each, with half of the proceeds benefiting our local club. All tickets are sold in advance, so visit our website at FresnoRepublicanWomen.org or pick up a flyer with a registration form at the Elbow Room. It will be a dazzling event, the Fresno County and City Republican Women 3rd Annual Restaurant Takeover and Silent Auction at the Elbow Room in the sparkling Fig Garden Village on Monday, September 25th. The theme is Diamonds in Denim. Join us at 5:30 p.m. for a no-host bar with dinner program beginning at 7 p.m. See you there.
Do you believe that kids today need a caring adult in their lives? Hi, this is Ed Kazmarek with Fresno Madera Youth for Christ. We believe kids need more than that. It takes at least 7 caring adults, a parent, a coach, a pastor, a YFC mentor, to help kids along the difficult journey of being a teenager. Life can be overwhelming. The Youth for Christ team serves at over 35 ministry sites across Fresno and Madera counties, bringing the good news of hope in Jesus Christ. Support Youth for Christ. Visit yfcnow.org today.
In this tight labor market, finding new employees can be tough. Whether you're the business owner or an HR professional, you want access to highly qualified candidates fast. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, no matter the industry, with Indeed you get immediate access to a high-quality pool of talent with no long-term contracts or upfront fees. For a limited time, Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to make their first job listing a sponsored job, with premium visibility so more candidates will see it. You want to make a great hire fast, and this exclusive offer gives you a head start. Independent research shows 6 times more hires are delivered through Indeed than any other job site, making Indeed your one-stop source for hiring. To redeem this offer, go to Indeed.com/offer. That's Indeed.com/offer. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Business Leaders Live. In studio, Flynn Anderson has been joining me. We've been talking about abusers and addicts, and we've been talking about the organization PAIN that he runs, Parents and Addicts in Need. And absolutely what the acronym stands for, PAIN, is what the whole process is. It is painful, but at the same time, Flint's the type of guy that if you have a Band-Aid on there and you need to take that Band-Aid off, you just rip it off. What are you waiting for? So you rip it off and you get the process started, but it's not that easy. And it takes the love of a family member to recognize that and say, I've got to do something about this.
Right. You know, a lot of times we'll get parents that will actually make a call, come in and see us, and then they'll say, well, okay, you know what, we're going to come back. And sometimes they come back in 6 months, sometimes they come back in a year. And again, it's the old thing of, what are you waiting for here?
Yeah.
This is not going to get any better. It never gets any better. Drug addiction always winds up badly. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what your family name is, or what color you are. You know, it always winds
doesn't
up
discriminate.
badly. It does
doesn't.
not discriminate at all. And you know, and again, the majority of our clientele lives north of Shaw Avenue. You know, it's
so affluent families. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, or maybe not affluent, but have some means.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, again, 90% of our clientele, these young people either went to Clovis West, Buchanan, Bullard, San Joaquin Memorial, Fresno Christian, or Clovis North.
Yeah.
These, for whatever reasons, this is our demographics.
Yeah.
And so again, a lot of these parents don't. Oh, they're just going through a phase.
Yeah.
You know.
Or he's just smoking marijuana.
And
it's not going to cause any problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you know, they're just drinking a little bit. You know, boys will be boys. And by the way, if you guys want to drink and smoke pot, you can come over to our backyard, right? And as long as we have your car keys, you can do what you want in our backyard. But I will then come back to parents and say, well, how do you know? Can you tell the difference if somebody's drunk, high on pot, or high on heroin?
And they look dumbfounded.
And
Yeah.
And they say, well, no. And I say, okay. Well, then how do you know that they're not carrying OxyContin, Lortab, Percocet, Norco in their pockets? How do you know there's not cocaine in their pockets? And they're doing this in your backyard. Again, no answer.
You get that blank stare.
I get the blank stare again.
Yeah.
Right? So parents play a role in this whether they think so or not. Because the majority of these kids, and whether people want to believe it or not, it's up to them. But I'm telling you right now, the majority of these kids at least experiment with something while they're in high school. I mean, one of the stats that just got to me was 25% of high school athletes now use narcotic painkillers. This is a nationwide study. So I want you to think about this. So if their number is 25%, what about the kids that didn't raise their hand?
Yeah, absolutely. How many of them were honest?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're hitting a 25% number.
Exactly. Because a lot of people aren't going to go, well, yeah, I'm using something.
Yeah.
Right? So we know that number is higher.
Yeah.
So again, it's
and they're probably taking that statistic from Discovery. So maybe they were put into treatment or there was a problem. And like you say, that number could be really skewed and a lot higher than what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and you were a baseball player, and like you said, it was prescription drugs, and that was the taste at the beginning.
Right.
And so at a young age, it could be a very innocent process of you're just trying to do what the doctor said.
Sure.
And the doctor knows what he's doing. Stay-at-home moms, I've heard stories with a stay-at-home mom with back pain, and now she's on medications that she shouldn't be on.
Right.
So it's a big problem all the way around, from our physicians overprescribing to family members that put on blinders to the process.
Right. Well, and again, you know, I mean, what happens if somebody is just likes it?
Yeah.
Right? They take that painkiller because there's a knee injury or an ankle injury or something, and all of a sudden they go, whoa, this feels great. I mean, I've actually had kids tell me that once they've used OxyContin and even heroin, they have said, I never want to not feel like this again.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to think about that statement. At 17 years of age, I never want to not feel like this again. That is scary.
Yeah.
That is scary. So again, somebody like me who had the medical issues, but then I was one of those guys that liked it all.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what set me off.
And during your day, your heyday, it was Vicodins and others. So today's drugs are, and I mean, you would probably not be with us today if these drugs were around.
I would not. OxyContin was still was here when I got clean, but it really wasn't, and you couldn't buy pills on the street like you can today. But there's a couple of other drugs out there today that really scare me, and one is, of course, is fentanyl, and which is a drug that you get mostly in the hospital. But there's another drug called by the way, fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine. Now, there's another drug called carfentanil, which is an elephant tranquilizer, and it's designed to put down a 3-ton elephant. China and Russia have manufactured it. It's a synthetic, so it's man-made. They're bringing it into the eastern seaboard, and people are dying before they're lacing marijuana with it. So it's the old saying, hey, can pot kill you? Well, now it can.
Now it can,
right? Because they're lacing pot with it. They're lacing regular painkillers with it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. And people are dying before they hit the ground.
Wow. Let's talk about pain, the organization, and then we're going to go to break. And we come back, we'll talk about everything that it does. But give me, in a minute here, just what is pain, parents with addicts in need?
Okay. The first process is somebody gives us a call. We get them in. We assess the situation, and we determine if their loved one needs treatment or possibly needs just outpatient treatment. So, again, I'm extremely picky on where I refer people. So we get them into a treatment facility, and we stay with the parents and the kid for about 2 years. I tell everybody this is about a 2-year process. This is as much about changing behavior as it is just stopping the addiction. And so, again, there's a great saying in AA. It says, what do you have to change about yourself in recovery? And it's a one-word answer. Everything.
Everything.
Everything. Right? From who's in your phone, from where you drive, what you wear. Everything needs to change. And so it's that 2-year process, and we stay with the parents and the addict throughout the entire time.
When we come back, Flynn Anderson is in studio. We're going to talk about PAIN, the organization that he just told us about, and all the services it has to offer. And then how do we make PAIN exist? We'll be back right here on AM 1680.
It's professional boxing at the Valdez Hall, next to the Cellend Arena, Saturday, September 23rd. The main event featuring Fresno's own Mike Ruiz Jr., ranked 13th by the North American Boxing Federation and North American Boxing Association, versus Jonathan Torres from Guadalajara, Jalisco. Also, 6 more exciting boxing matches featuring top-ranked Valley stars Joe Lopez and Isidro Ochoa, plus Fresno's best Hector Madera, Julia Lopez, and Madera's own Jesus Sanchez. Special guest of honor, our own Valley Olympian Jose Ramirez. Doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime at 7 p.m. Tickets now on sale for the best seats available. Buy your tickets now at Cellend Arena's box office and Ticketmaster. Come out and support our Valley Boxers. For more information, call 559-233-8803. That's 233-8803. It's all or nothing. It's todo or nada. Saturday, September 23rd at the Valdez Hall next to Cellend Arena. Sponsored by Serrano's Furniture with 9 locations to serve you.
In the future, your home's energy footprint is going to be much smaller than it is today. Energy efficiency and green building programs combined with government incentives and private ingenuity will reduce your energy consumption anywhere from 20 to 40%. Green is good, and it will save you money.
Our family at Donald P. Dick, your locally owned and operated heating and air conditioning company, and proud to be the People's Choice Award winner for the 9th straight year, reminds you to go green and save. Call today for a free estimate.
Donald P. Dick is introducing a whole house approach. Air and duct sealing, attic insulation, hot water pipe insulation. Ideas designed to drive the cost of energy down. Plus, your home could qualify for valuable energy rebates. Call Mr. Cool, Donald P. Dick Heating and Air at 255-1644. They'll show you how to save money by saving energy. For 3 generations in Fresno, it's been Donald P. Dick Heating and Air. Call 255-1644 and let Mr. Cool show you how to drive down the cost of home energy.
Every day, Poverello House serves 1,600 meals to homeless men and women and families in Fresno County. That's equivalent to one meal for each person at a sold-out Save Mart Center concert. And we've been doing it all with the warehouse and operations center that has seen much better days. Hello, this is Cruz Avila, Executive Director for the Poverello House. Help us raise the roof and fund the construction of a new fully insulated warehouse at Poverello. Together, let's build something that will have a profound impact on our community. Donate today by visiting www.poverellohouse.org or call us at 498-6988.
Hello, everybody. This is Lance Cardoza. Every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. on AM 1680 The Answer, I bring you Business Leaders Live. This Tuesday, I sit in studio with Flint Anderson. Flint Anderson runs an organization called PAIN, and that's exactly what families are going through, PAIN. Parents with Addicts in Need. The organization helps families navigate the issues that breaks apart a family going through the problem. This Tuesday on Business Leaders.
Hi, I'm Rick Bentley, formerly of the Fresno Bee. I now have a TV show. You can catch me on the Coca-Cola Broadcasting channels with my new show called TV Beat with Rick Bentley. Now, what I'm going to do on this show is what I did for my TV column for 18 years. I'm going to try to give you some insight to what's going on in local television and radio. Will be news. I'll give you some updates on hirings and firings. Each week I also plan to have a special guest, somebody who I believe can give you some insight in what's going on in the local media world. The idea is to be a very interactive show, so what I need you to do is sort of check out the website at www.rickbentleytvbeat.com. There you can get information about where you can find all the airings of the show and information about how to connect with me.
Watch Rick Bentley's TV Beat each Saturday at 6:30 p.m. on KGMC, Channel 43.5, and Xfinity Comcast, Channel 378.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
We're back with Business Leaders in studio with Flint Anderson. We're talking about PAIN. And this is Parents and Addicts in Need. And we were talking about what PAIN, the organization, does, Flint. And it's supported by fundraising efforts. Mm-hmm. It's supported by you getting out into the community and letting people know about this organization so it can be supported. Right. And you can help those families. Where are you going to be speaking at next? I've watched you speak before, and I remember I was there at your very first speaking engagement. Right. And it was at a church, and I can't remember exactly. It was your good friend's church, and it was amazing watching the kids line up, and not necessarily being the ones that had the problem, but they want to talk to you about their friend. Right. And it was really intense conversations that you had with all those kids, and they were lined up to see you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. One of the things we do is we do speak all over. We speak at universities and high schools and professional groups, law firms, because this is a big issue, with lawyers. And our next speaking engagement is at the second annual Fresno and Clovis Recovery Summit, and that is Saturday, September 30th at 10 a.m. at New Harvest Church. The event's free to the community, and we'll have about 20 recovery and addiction agencies attending, and they'll have all their information there. I'm going to be speaking, and then we've got several others that are speaking as well. To fit the different age groups. And, again, we're out there spreading the message of hope because, a lot of people tend to think that there just is no hope in this. And the fact of the matter is that recovery is possible. But it's not easy. It's hard work on both ends, from not only the drug user, but the families as well. People just seem to think that, okay, we're going to go to treatment and everything's going to be fine and we're going to get back to normal. And no, that's not how it works. Recovery rates among that 18 to 30-year-old age bracket is only about 7%.
Wow.
That's a frightening number.
Yeah.
Right? It's a frightening number. And, again, if you do the math, that's 93%. I hate to use the term, but failure rate.
Yeah.
But if somebody works a recovery program, if everybody's on the same page with this, that doesn't mean that somebody has to be perfect and is going to be perfect. That's not the way it works. And there's going to be what I call slip-ups probably along the way a little bit. Yeah. And that's part of the recovery process as well. It's what you do with that slip-up that counts. It's a lot of parents I'll tell them, look, you can't even have alcohol in your house.
Yeah.
While your son or daughter is still living with you, because we have a tendency, we as those in recovery, to swap out one drug for another. And alcohol is a drug, and that's a trigger. That can be a huge trigger to our brains. And again, if you're not a drug user, you're not going to understand those triggers.
Yeah.
And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but when I talk to parents, I say, you know your son or daughter better than I do, but I know the drug addict better than you. I know what we're capable of. I know what we're not capable of. You're not a drug user, Mom and Dad, so how would you know this? Well, my kid, he's not a street kid. He wouldn't know what to do on the street. Really? I said, the only difference now is that he's living in your house. The only difference is he's sleeping in your bed. What do you think he's doing the rest of the time? Who do you think he's associated with? These kids are street kids. They know what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
And so that's that's a huge part of what we do at Pain, as far as getting this message across to those parents.
And during your addiction, like you were saying, you don't know what they're doing to feed that addiction. And when you told your story, that's why I first heard your story, how dark it is, trips to Mexico, when your family thought you were out working, and you'd planned a trip to go get your drugs to find it, or you were getting doctors to write you prescriptions. You go to all ends of the earth to get it done, and these kids become street kids. They figure out how to get it done.
Absolutely.
And not only, we're talking a lot about youth, but it could be mom at home, it could be dad, it could be anybody in a very stressful situation trying to mask the pain that's going through this. Very successful people that are battling it. That we see celebrities all the time that fall victim to addiction.
Right. No, we've actually sent people in their 70s to treatment. Retired attorneys. We've sent housewives. We've sent grandmothers. Again, that just simply got tied up in it because their doctor kept writing them scripts.
Yeah.
And again, it's not that they were showing drug addict behavior, but they were dependent and abusing the drug. There's a difference. There's a difference between abusing, dependency, and a full-blown drug addict. Because with a drug addict, that's all the behavioral stuff now. That's the stealing, that's the lying, that's the sneaking around, it's all of those kinds of things. So no, it's again, it doesn't discriminate. All ages, both sexes. In fact, women are more prone to become addicted than men. Those studies are out there also. Women have a tendency to go to the doctor more.
Yeah.
Guys kind of want to toughen it out a little bit.
And don't question what they're being prescribed, and
they don't question anything.
Yeah.
with the doctor.
So on people, this organization is a 501c3.
Yes.
And it's supported by fundraising, and I know there's a big annual event that always is a very, very impactful night of stories.
Right.
When is the next event that's coming up?
That is Friday, November 3rd at Tornino's. That's our annual dinner. It's really a great event, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Jamie does a marvelous job.
Yes, she does.
This place is decorated to the teeth. I mean, it's just it's outstanding. But we also get lots of support from around the community. Leon S. Peters is a huge supporter of our Smith Camp Foundation, private donors. Again, we've got a fantastic board of directors that leads us down this path of all kinds of different fundraising projects. And by the way, that's why we brought Jamie on. I know she doesn't want to hear about herself, but that's okay.
She's doing a great job.
She's doing a
helping you guys
fabulous
out.
job at getting things done. Yeah.
So someone wants to help you out. They can go to the website to find out more information. That website is
www.gotpainusa.com.
That makes Jamie smile.
That's right. That's 2 times in a row I got that.
So if you want to talk to Jamie and call down there to get some help, you can call the number to talk to Flint or Jamie at
559-579-1551.
If you have somebody out there and you're listening to this and you're thinking about them right now, don't hesitate to send them over to lancecardoza.com to get this show in post, or call. You can still call at 442-1680 or call down there to Pain to look for answers and figure out what you need to do. We're going to wrap up. When we come back, we're going to find out that something that someone doesn't know about Flint. And Flint, you got time to think about that. He looks scared. When we come back right here on Business Leaders.
Dad, I am totally lost in my math. My teacher goes way over my head. How will I ever pass this class?
I've always been a concerned parent, and I hated to see my daughter struggle with her math. I worried that her poor math skills would hurt her future. It wasn't that she didn't try, but she kept falling further behind. Then we got help with Math Made Easy. Concepts are simplified in a step-by-step approach, and students learn at their own pace. Within weeks, my daughter's grades improved, and she regained her confidence. Math Made Easy has all levels, from arithmetic and fractions to algebra, even calculus. Best of all, it's affordable for everyone. Listen, end the frustration. I'd like you to call now for a 30-day risk-free trial. 1-800-USA-MATH. That's 1-800-872-6284. Call now, 1-800-872-6284. 1-800-USA-MATH. Or visit us at mathmadeeasy.com.
With Quicken Loans, the outdated and complicated mortgage process is a thing of the past. Our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Take your mortgage to the next level and call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. No matter how you prefer to work with us, we've got what you need to get you through the mortgage process with ease. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Whether you're looking to purchase or refinance, now is the time. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
What a great show. Flint, thank you for being a part of this and being a part of my weekly show every Tuesday at 9 a.m. here on 1680 a.m. We have Business Leaders Live, and business leader yourself and running this organization and doing great things with Payne.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you and what you do in our community.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about, again, quickly, how someone could support the organization, and then give somebody a little taste of something that someone doesn't know about Flint Anderson.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm out there so much. I think everybody knows everything about me.
You've exposed everything.
I've exposed everything. I think maybe one of the things that they don't know is the fact of how much I love music and what that means to me. You know, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm one of those guys that I got it going all the time, especially jazz. I mean, that's my thing right there.
And I know you've turned on to a couple songs to me. I'm trying to think of his name now. Christian singer that you had as a CD and
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Oh yeah, Curtis Chapman. Yeah. There was somebody else that I was trying to think of.
There's a guy named Mark Schultz.
Yeah,
actually, that is probably one of the greatest lyricists I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah. He's just fabulous at what he does. So, I mean, music got me through treatment too. I mean, it gets me through my day. It's just a powerful force in my life. So,
again, someone out there that is in need or thinking about Payne, we're down to the final minute. But how do they get a hold of you and get some help?
Again, our office number is 559-579-1551, or you can reach me on my cell, which is 559-978-9239. I think the only time I don't answer it is when I'm in the bathroom. So,
we don't want you answering that.
Right. But again, if by some chance I don't answer, please leave a message. I will return that call or that text within just a matter of minutes, because you really don't have any time to waste here.
Thank you, Flint Anderson. Jamie Brown in studio with Payne, parents with addicts in need. And next week we'll be talking about DeYoung Properties, DeYoung Properties family. Paula DeYoung and her family will be in here, and we'll be talking about their family legacy and home building. Next week, right here, Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m., Business Leaders Live.
One name, 9 locations, the lowest prices anywhere in the Valley, with the highest quality furniture. It's Serrano's Furniture. The Serrano's Furniture Galleries are family-owned and operated right here in Central California for over 30 years, giving you top-name brands like Legacy, Parker House, and Klausner. The best prices on America's #1 rated mattresses.